In this episode, I talk about the easiest exercise you can do to improve your health, even if you already exercise. And listen, you're gonna probably figure it out right at the beginning, exactly what the exercise is. But I encourage you to stay with me because I want you to see how this exercise has the highest return for the smallest investment. Among many other things, it helps you increase your metabolism, regulate your circadian rhythm, decrease your belly fat, and improve your vitamin D levels. Those are the things I speak mainly about, but there are also many, many other benefits. Actually, you can share with me what benefits you've gotten from this exercise if you're already doing it. I also talk about how recently I gained weight and lost it again. I haven't talked about that yet. So, looking forward to having you stick with me. This is Lucy Gable, integrative leadership coach and consultant, author, speaker, and professor at George Washington University School of Medicine. Welcome to my podcast, Leadership, Life, Health, and Happiness. So it's morning right now in Los Angeles, and I'm taking my regular morning walk. It's getting warm, as you might imagine, and when it's pretty hot in the summer here, I like to get out in the morning and later in the evening because otherwise it's just crazy in terms of the heat. I haven't heard from many of you about whether or not you liked my walking podcast episodes, but the few of you I did hear from said they really liked it. So I'll probably pepper a few of these in every now and then. So yes, I take a walk every morning, and there are many reasons for that. And I want to share them with you because it's really changed a lot of things in my life for the better. Just a little morning walk. I'm not talking about speed walking. I'm not talking about anything that requires intensity or effort. I'm just talking about getting out in the morning as early as possible and moving your legs. When I started doing it, I had a distinct purpose, and that was to get some sun into my eyes for my circadian rhythm. If you don't know me too well, you might not know that I am definitely a night owl. It's probably part of my genetic makeup. We're finding out more and more that there are people that are just pretty much wired to be nighttime people, and that is absolutely me. I started getting out in the mornings as soon as I possibly could. Getting sun in the eyes helps the brain to register that it's morning, that it's time to be awake. And it also helps to set up your circadian rhythm so you get tired in the evening. Well, I started doing that after we moved to Los Angeles because we have a relatively dark home. And we did that on purpose because it gets really hot here, Southern California, as you might imagine. And most of the days are hot. I mean, we get 8 months of heat. So we didn't want to have astronomical bills for air conditioning. And we found a place that was pretty shady, which is really great. We were really lucky to find it. However, what I didn't think about was the fact that I work mainly from home. I wasn't getting that sunlight in my eyes. And I think it was really affecting my sleep patterns. I think it was affecting my eyes, my ability to focus and such. So I get out a couple times a day. And we know that getting light from the sun onto our skin helps us to naturally make vitamin D. So we need to be out in the sunlight without sunscreen for 10 to 20 minutes for that to happen. And the sun needs to shine on our face and hands at the very least. And so if you go out every day, you're going to be doing yourself a vitamin D favor. About 10 years ago, we started finding through research that sitting long periods of time throughout the day is extremely detrimental to one's health. And it doesn't matter if you're overweight or thin. Sitting for long periods can really cause some problems and create metabolic issues and blood vessel issues. So that is another one of the reasons why I started making it a point to get outside and walk. Now, I do exercise regularly. I've always done that ever since high school. But the problem with sitting is the fact that we're exercising maybe an hour a day, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but more time of the day is spent sitting, and that's a problem within itself. So even if you exercise, even if you're super fit, sitting can start to create problems on your inside that you can't see. During the second half of the pandemic, I took on more classes. I was teaching on Zoom, and I still am, but I took on even more than I'm teaching right now. And you know what happened? When I started sitting for several more hours a day, every day, I started gaining weight around my middle. Yes, I was exercising my regular exercise schedule, which is pretty intense. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you probably have seen pictures and video of me working out. I do high intensity interval training. I do heavy weights. I run on a weekly basis. I had the same exercise schedule. I had the same eating habits. Nothing had changed really, except the amount of time I sat. And I mean, I was not just on the computer for 8 hours. I would say it was probably 10 hours a day, most of the weekdays. But I wasn't just, not moving from the computer. Obviously, there's food and bathroom breaks that we need to take. And I was continuing to exercise, as I mentioned. Do I have a standing desk? Yes, I do. Standing desk that turns into a seated desk, so I can shift my positions. But there were long days of staying in one place. So for about a year, I had shifted my schedule and had been sitting longer. And then all of a sudden, the belly weight, the middle weight showed up. And sure, many of us will think, oh no, I can't get into a bathing suit, or my clothes don't fit me. Ooh, I almost got sprayed by a lawn sprayer. But we also know that weight around the middle is the most dangerous weight to have. That weight is associated with much more cardiovascular disease and metabolic issues. What did I do? I didn't have time to work out longer. And frankly, my body can only handle so much exercise. And then, after a certain point, you can start to tear it down instead of build it up. So I was exercising enough. Well, I started doing the Pomodoro technique, which is when you put a timer on for 25 minutes and then you stand up, move around for at least 3 minutes. And you can do physical movement, yeah, sure. Sometimes I did squats for 30 seconds, stretches, lunges, something like that to make sure my legs were getting blood flowing through them. But also I would often just go to the kitchen, make my lunch, or get a drink of water, or do something else around the house. And did I move from my desk every single 25 minutes? No, I didn't. But I did move much more than I would have otherwise. And I made sure that I was walking every morning. Because was I walking every single morning? No, especially during the pandemic when my husband was home and schedules had shifted, I did other things in the morning, and sometimes I'd get a walk. And you know what? Once I started walking intentionally every day in the morning, that belly fat came off. It was like no problem. How much time was it? I'd go out for maybe 10 minutes, but more often than not, I would get into the smells of the gardens or the trees. I would get into the beautiful sky, the breathing aspect of it, and often just the shift of environment and the relaxation of my mind would cause me to start thinking creatively, and then I would need to start dictating notes onto my phone because I started getting all these great ideas for solving problems or writing an email or making a video. And I might be out for 20 minutes sometimes. Since 2022 December, I got back into my normal lifestyle. It's not a whole heck of a lot more movement. It's just not sitting for so many hours. And I know what a difference walking in the morning makes. It just kicks up that metabolism, for me at least. And you know what? It also sets my day off really well. And I noticed that keeping that walking in has continued to help my midline to shave back down to what it was a couple years ago. So many people that I know, people that I've worked with, have lost significant amount of weight just through making walking their cardiovascular routine. And just walking will get you to significant health, cardiovascularly, mentally, and metabolically. Of course, if you want higher levels of fitness, then you have to do heavier and more intense exercise. If you don't do anything right now for yourself regarding your physical health, walking is just so great. I hope you enjoyed walking with me this morning, and I hope that you are motivated to take your own walks. After about a month or so, let me know if it's made any changes in your health or in your life in general. If you like this episode, let me know by giving it a like or 5 stars. Give me a comment or send me an email and tell me what this episode made you think about and what you'd like to talk about next time. And follow to keep listening, because soon I'll be announcing a group program for leaders who want to be more balanced in their own life and cultivate their top leadership skills for others. This is Lucy Gable. Talk to you next time.